and it was crazy. Clubs were selling out week in, week out. There were even people who were throwing like open flat parties. In a 7-person flat, you'd be having like 50 people in the kitchen alone. Uni is a madness. Hey guys, it's Mahel here, and in this video, not only will I be helping you prepare for Freshers Week, but also becoming a fresher. Now, before we get into the video, if you haven't already, then make sure to add me on Snapchat, Mahel Khan, as I will be posting stories relating to university, and you can follow my journey at the University of Nottingham. I'm now a second-year management student at the University of Nottingham, having completed first year and achieving a 2-2. So this time last year, I was in your position where I was about to become a fresher, and I was excited for Freshers Week. And so, having been through that, it's now my time to give you advice for your time. We're now only a few weeks away from freshers, and this is going to be an opportunity for you to move to uni to become the independent student that will achieve a degree and to leave behind your friends and family as you go on and make new connections with people, whether it be friends or even finding the love of your life. For some of you, uni is going to be the opportunity to get away from a hectic 2 years at sixth form and to get some peace and quiet. After all, you're moving away from your home life, and what you do at uni is up to you. So if you want a quiet life, you can do exactly that, and if you want a hectic life again, then you can go for that as well. So whilst it's going to be a quiet life for some uni students, for others it's going to be living the lavish life of partying hard and studying even harder. I'm going to tell you this now, uni is a madness. But there are red flags that you need to identify so that not only will you survive Freshers Week, but the weeks that follow that. After all, the thoughts of seshing like you're in Ibiza with unlimited funds and immortal is great. However, it's not just about that, as Freshers Week is a great time to discover yourself and maybe try out a new sport or society that you haven't tried out before. So I'm also going to say this now. Freshers Week is a great and memorable experience. However, it's the weeks that follow that will be the peak of your first year at university, as it was for me. To this day, even though Freshers was only 4 club nights at the University of Nottingham, I remember, because Nottingham Trent University is in Nottingham as well, it was literally unofficially Freshers Month, and it was crazy. Like, clubs were selling out week in, week out, days in advance, and everyone was just going out, and there was just a buzzing vibe throughout the city. There were even people who were throwing like open flat parties by posting it in a group chat saying, I'm having a party at my flat, come through and bring drink or bring people, and literally in a 7-person flat you'd be having like 50 people in the kitchen alone and then more people in the corridor, and it was just truly mad and a great social opportunity to meet people. So by the way, if you're living in self-catered accommodation that isn't owned by your university and so isn't on campus, then you are going to be living a dream, as they tend to be more relaxed with parties, whereas if you're hosting a party in your halls of residence, then you're probably going to get a hall warden to come over and shut it down. So let's say you're living in something owned by like Unite students, Darwin students, and so on, rather than your university, chances are you're going to have a great time. As I said before, not only just in Freshers Week, but in Freshers Month, there was just a constant vibe where everyone was out there to talk to each other, make new friends, and some people even found their uni wife. So to this day, even though first year has finished, I know some people within the first few weeks met their love and are still together now. As I do try and keep my content as family friendly as possible, I'm going to answer the question that's probably on your mind, but keep it short, as simple as possible. Yes, the bee can enter the honey for a one-night thing, and I've seen it happen many times. Essentially, Freshers Month is a bit of a dumbed down version of the stereotypes of freshers. It's not as cringy and it's not as crazy as you would see on Blue Mountain State, for example. So if you have like an American party college experience in mind, it's not quite like that. In fact, it's quite different. However, some of the themes are similar in the UK lifestyle at university. Having said that, I'm actually going to leave some of the things that happen at uni to your imagination. If you have a friend in 2nd or 3rd year, or someone that's just been through uni, make sure to go and ask them what it's like. But based on what I'm saying, try and read along the lines. It's just crazy. My first pointer regarding freshers is to not go out without knowing anyone at all. You might be thinking, how is this possible? But believe me, if you're not lazy and you are proactive, then you can join Facebook groups and Facebook group chats and start talking to people there, so that when you get to university, you can literally message them and be like, oh, let's meet up, and then go out together in freshers. After all, it's so much better to go out in pairs or in a small group than on your own, because during freshers it's sort of like a clique, so people go out in their flats, and so if you want to meet other people, you might feel uncomfortable being one person on their own trying to join a group of 6. Whereas, for example, if you go out as a group of 2 or 3, you might find another group of 2 or 3 and feel more comfortable. Even then, you'll probably feel uncomfortable doing it on your own. So just try and meet other people through Facebook before getting to uni, so that you can go out with them. As not only will you meet other people, you'll get to know them a bit more and see if they're really worth keep in contact with at uni, as obviously you've been talking over Facebook, and so you don't really know if they're that great of a person or not. But this is a bit of a red flag. Talk to as many people as you can during freshers and the weeks that follow, because 80% of the people that I met during freshers I do not talk to now, and I've only just finished first year. And I say this is a red flag because after freshers, some people will find a little clique to go out with and whatnot, and then distance themselves from everyone outside our flat clique. So don't feel loyal at uni, because I'm telling you right now, loyalty is very low at uni. So do not feel loyal to anyone at uni, because some people are out there for themselves and themselves only. It is a bit like home, but obviously because you're going to somewhere new where you don't know anyone else, it's hard to gauge how good of a person someone is and how loyal they are going to be to you. Some people will literally use you as a stopgap for company, but then as soon as something better comes along, they will ditch you as they've made the most of your use. Therefore, it's silly to limit your options by talking to maybe 7 people and then thinking you're sorted for uni, you've made your friends, and that's that. So that's why I say talk to as many people as you can, get their Instagram at above all, as then you are able to put a face to the name, as because you're going to be meeting a lot of people, you want to remember who each person was. And so considering you're going to be meeting a lot of people, by having simply a Snapchat name, you might forget who a lot of people are and never talk to them again. So it's better to get someone's Instagram name, as then you are able to DM them if you like them, as when you look at their profile and you see a face and you think, ah, I remember our conversation, you can then decide whether to talk to them more and decide whether you want to become a friend or not. If you want a full guide on how to make friends at university, as believe me, there are people who don't know what to say or don't know how to approach people, then make sure to click the info card in this corner, as I did make a comprehensive guide on how to make friends at university. So be sure to watch that video. But in terms of Freshers Week, as I said before, it's not just about seshing, as there are a lot of people who aren't into clubbing or seshing at all. That's why I mentioned that you should get yourself out there as much as possible, so that you can find like-minded people with similar interests, and maybe you'll find someone that likes a movie night rather than going loco at prison. I keep mentioning going crazy at freshers and freshers being a madness, but trust me, do not burn yourself out during Freshers Week. Some people don't know how much they can go out in terms of their tiredness and energy levels, and bearing in mind that you have to go to freshers fairs and introductory lectures, just try not to tire yourself out, as like I said before, you want to save yourself for Freshers Month. So the weeks that follow Freshers Week will be the peak of your first year at uni, and so you want to save yourself for the best events. It's also important not to be pressured by ticket reps who try to sell you wristbands and tickets to events that often aren't very popular and take place in a bar or a so-called club that no student goes to. Because believe me, you don't understand some of the things that people will do for their £1 commission. If anything, try to find a second year and ask them what's good and what isn't. Even if it's a second year that you just randomly see on campus, be like, sorry, I'm a fresher here, can you please tell me what events to go to at the start of the year and what not to go to? And I'm sure they'll be able to help you out. Just make sure they're not a ticket rep for anything, as again, some people really want their £1 commission, which is just ridiculous, like £1. Now, moving on. I must say that this time last year, I was very excited for university as I was able to make a fresh start. However, I was also a bit scared as I was going to be leaving behind my friends and family and not seeing them as often. It may be very tempting to go home every weekend, and I've seen some people do it. However, don't be that person as it will stop you from truly settling into university. I even saw people go home the weekend after Freshers Week, and I can't stress this enough. Don't do this, as like I say many times, it's unofficially Freshers Month, and so by going home after Freshers Week, where the SU events are, which don't tend to be the best events by the way, you're actually going to be missing out on the whole uni experience, and so by limiting yourself, you're probably not going to be making as many friends as others who do stay at uni, and you might just feel a bit left out because once people form their groups, chances are they're not going to change their group. Not only this, if you're going home all the time so that you can see your friends from home and your family, you're truly never going to combat homesickness. And homesickness is something that everyone will go to a different extent for each person. However, if you don't actually try and settle into university, then you will not combat it and it'll never go away. So the moment where you can't see your family for a while, and let's say you get to second year and this happens, then you don't want to be feeling homesickness in second year where things matter, such as exams and all that stress piling apart. You want to get it out of the way with in first year, right at the start, so then you're used to living independently at university. Even worse, I know someone who isolates himself at uni, literally stays in his room and plays pro clubs with his friends from home, and then when he's at home, he's a completely different person in the sense that we don't hear from him at all. I mean, we don't really at uni, but when he goes home, don't hear from him at all. And he goes out with his friends from home, but he doesn't go out at uni, and it's really weird. So just don't be that person, honestly, because this person is going to regret it in second year, I can tell you now. And yeah, literally, you don't want to be that person where when you're in second year, you're like, my homemates aren't here. This is a bit sticky. So the message here is to find the right balance between your uni life and your home life. But ultimately, live at university as much as you can, as you've come to uni to go to uni. So by being at home all the time, when there aren't lectures and whatnot, you might have well just stayed at home and distance learn, or gone to a university close to home. Like, it doesn't really make sense if you're gonna go all the way to a uni up far and then go home at every opportunity. Previously, I briefly touched upon sports and societies. This is a great way to get yourself out there and doing something, as some days, I will admit it, I found myself staring at the ceiling with nothing to do. And this is because I started to go to volleyball, but then a few weeks after, different commitments meant that I stopped going, and then I thought, maybe I'll join next year again. And I do regret this, as like I said, some days I was literally staring at the ceiling like, wow. And you don't want to be in this position, especially in first year when it's free reign to go and enjoy yourself, because for most of you, first year doesn't count. Both sports and societies are a great place to meet people too, and very social, as often you'll find that the social rep for a sport or society will host like a house party and then decide to go to a club with everyone invited. So by being part of a group, you can find a group that's not just your flatmates or your course mates, and you can be involved in many, many groups. This basically ensures that you're never without anything to do, because I'm telling you now, that's one of my regrets, and I'm gonna be making a video saying what I wish I knew in first year very soon, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. But honestly, during first year, just try to be as proactive as you can. And speaking about being proactive, that is why I say go to the Freshers Fair, as believe me, I know that I personally thought, what's the point of this? But when I went, I realized that actually it's a very important event, as you're able to discover sports and societies which may not be so discoverable later in the year. It's better to start early rather than later. But the most important thing is to never do anything that you don't want to do. If you're being forced to do something against your own will, do not do it. This means that you don't have to go out in freshers, or you don't have to join a society. Ultimately, the university experience is what you make of it, and you can take things at your own pace. I mention this now as some societies and sports are run by cruel second and third years who will make freshers do initiations in order to join that sport or society. Never do this, as not only will you be making a fool out of yourself, it's actually against university rules, and if they were found doing this, then they can get suspended or just penalised. So I think I'm going to wrap up the video here, as I have given enough advice about Freshers Week and the weeks that follow. But if you did enjoy this video, then make sure to leave a like, comment below and subscribe, and turn post notifications on by clicking the bell, which ensures that you do not miss a single video as soon as it's out. Make sure to follow me on social media, that's at Mahel Khan on Snapchat and Instagram. Especially on Snapchat and Instagram, follow me because I post so much university related content on those platforms. At Mahel X on Twitter, and official Mahel Khan on Facebook. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see from me relating to freshers or university. We still do have a few weeks, so make sure to comment it in the comments below so that I can make a video for you guys and advise you on what you should and shouldn't do. But that is going to be it for the video, guys and girls. Hope you did enjoy it, and I hope this has been helpful to you. And also, there is going to be an info card in this corner where you're able to check out a Freshers Guide playlist. So be sure to check that out for other Freshers related videos. And this has been Mahel, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace!